2009, I had a good year. I had one fight. After that fight, I went on and I ended up in an automobile accident that sidelined me for a year. Coming back off of my injuries, I started with Vitaly Klitschko training in Austria, and before I came back, I was sent a proposal to fight four-time heavyweight champion Evander Real Deal Holyfield. And that fight was for the World Boxing Federation world title. I felt good to know that they kept me in their ratings despite my year off of inactivities. And I knew that the Holyfield camp probably elected to fight me rather than the other 8 guys in the top 10 because of my inactive status. And I felt like it was an opportunity now to prove myself. At that point, I knew that God was healing me. I had 7 herniations. I had sciatic pain that followed me the whole year of 2010 up until September. I, without hesitation, I'm a spontaneous guy, and some people thought it was a mistake. I signed a contract August 24th without hesitation because I saw the opportunities that could come with a fight with a guy like Holyfield. My manager wanted to maybe come back on a tune-up fight, maybe a 6-round or 8-round fight. The Holyfield fight was a 12-round fight, and I said, you know what? Time is passing. I lost a year on the sidelines. I don't need a tune-up fight. I'm training. If I continue to train hard enough, I could take on anybody. The date was set for November the 5th. November the 5th turned into November the 9th. It became the Holyfield Circus. They said we'll do it in December 9th, Joe Louis Arena, Detroit, Michigan. This was now the 3rd date. Training with John David Jackson in the heavyweight factory in Fort Lauderdale. We got a phone call 10 days before the fight that was rescheduled for December the 10th, that, hey, listen, we just saw on Fight News that Evander Holyfield signed to fight in the 20,000 soccer arena in Copenhagen in Denmark. You guys sure the fight's still on? I said, well, listen, I hope the fight's still on. I've been enduring all this pain and discomfort for all of these weeks. It got to be on. So we contacted Holyfield camp. They said, yeah, the fight's still on. This Williams guy, some guy from the Bahamas, it's really a tune-up fight. So I said, okay, they were overconfident, they were cocky. I stayed the course. I did what I had to do. I had no Christmas. I had no Bahamian Christmas anyway. No John Canoe, no good food, none of that stuff. Stayed in training camp. Did everything I had to do. We had a simultaneous interview that they posted online this first week in January, where Holyfield had a conversation in his training camp about the fight and about Tank Williams and what he foresee and what his aspirations were. They came to my gym. I did an interview, and Holyfield being 4-time world champion, and the guy record is bar none. He was definitely a warrior, and I had great respect for the guy. I was humble in my interview, and I just sent one direct message to Holyfield. Come January 22nd, Greenbrier Resort. Better bring your best pair of dancing shoes because you're gonna dance that night. Be prepared to run. We got to the fight, got to the weigh-in. The champ was obviously arrogant and cocky with it. I did what I had to do. Said, "What's up, champ?" I wished him good luck. Guy didn't utter one word to me. I was fine with that. The night of the fight, I knew within my heart, because of all that I've went through, being in the ring with Evander Holyfield, despite all of his accomplishments and his warrior persona, that nothing he could have shown me that I haven't already experienced. So I was just ready to go. I was anxious to go. We got into the ring about 12:30 in the morning. that Saturday night or early Sunday morning. I felt good. I felt national pride. I had one of my friends, Floyd Seymour, who's also from Freeport, residing in Baltimore. He came in the day of the fight, and I told him, listen, if you got a Bahamian flag, bring a few flags. Whole outfit was made up of our colors, but we was missing a flag. So he brought the flag in. We went out, and Holyfield came in. My only concern at that time was Holyfield using the same dirty tactics he used the last time he fought a fighter that was under 6 foot, and that was Mike Tyson. In the pre-fight meetings with the referee, we told him specifically, listen, the guy is a warrior, but the guy's dirty. Watch out for headbutts and watch out for punching behind the back. That was my only concern. We got into the fight, the bell rung, and at that point, I felt now my job was to be the aggressor, take the fight to Holyfield, and as soon as he let his left hand down, hit him with the overhand right, the AKA Kung Punch. I was successful in landing the Kung Punch in the last seconds of the first round, and I stunned him. And I knew I stunned him because his body language changed. We went into the second round of the fight. I got a little more aggressive, established my jab, hit him with a body shot. The first body shot I hit him with, I literally staggered halfway across the ring. At that point, I realized that the effective body punches was going to wear him down. We continued on. The last 10 seconds of the second round is when we got inside. I hit him with a left hook and an overhand right. That's when the cut occurred. You know, when you cut, the first thing a cut does is burn and sting before it bleeds. If you go to YouTube or if you have a copy of the fight and you look at it carefully, you would see after the overhand right landed, Holyfield staggered back. He touched his face 3 times looking for blood. He was saved by the bell. We came into the third round. I became even more aggressive. I turned the pressure up on Holyfield. I totally outworked him, outpunched him, and just took control of the entire round. I hit him with at least half a dozen overhand rights. He was battered. He seemed to me like he was going to look for a way out. He started then with the dirty tactics, with coming in with the head. The referee intervened, and rather than wanting Holyfield, the referee was getting on me. So I felt like the best way for this fight to end is to knock this guy out. Coming towards the end of the third round, I turned up the pressure, and I hurt Holyfield with a massive overhand right and a left hook. Holyfield was out on his foot, and he staggered. The bell rung. He got saved by the bell. And if you look at the replays of that fight, he walked back to his corner seeming very dazed and confused. I felt totally confident at that point, and I said to myself, this fourth round is going to be the round I'm going to stop Holyfield. We went into the corner. My trainer told me, you're doing everything you need to do. Get back on this guy, start off the fourth round the way you finished the third round, and I guarantee you, halfway in, this guy's going to quit. He's looking for somewhere to lay down. The referee came in the middle of the ring. He said, seconds out, meaning it's time for us to get up and prepare for the bell to ring. Holyfield was in his corner, draped with his legs spread out as if he was on the beach somewhere at Pelican Bay. Seems as if though he had no intentions to getting up. At that point, we could not hear the commentary. We only was reading what's going on. The referee went over to Holyfield corner and had a conversation about 30 or 40 seconds. He came back to the middle of the ring and he waved, it was like the fight is over, the fight is over. I threw my hand up, in celebration. And he was like, no, it's a no contest draw. He can't continue. He can't see. I was like, what? And that's the way the fight ended. I was disappointed because I've been in situations where I have been robbed before. 99% of all of my fights was always abroad, America, or in Europe. I've had 3 fights in my whole career that was in the Bahamas, and they was all in Nassau. So, being in somebody else's backyard, you get that feeling when something's not right. When they take a long time to come up with a decision, or like the referee did when he went into the corner, we knew that it was not good. Anyway, what I did from that point is say, well, these guys gonna find a way to keep this title, so I'm not gonna cry over spilled milk. Let me just use, this last minute on TV to go ahead and promote the Bahamas, and that's what I did. So I just, flipped the script, and I just, tried to promote the Bahamas the best way possible. I told him that, Holyfield knew he lost the fight. Holyfield was beaten to a pulp. Holyfield, if he's truly a warrior, he will go with a rematch clause and give me a rematch in my backyard, whether it be Nassau or Freeport. Let's take the fight to the Bahamas. At that point in time, whether it was just on emotions or whether he was saving face, he said live on TV, absolutely, have no problem with that. So hopefully in the very, very near future, we're going to have a world title fight here in the Bahamas. So over the weekend, Sunday, as I was in Nassau, I got a call from my manager expressing that the president of the WBF had the time over the weekend to look over the fight cautiously with a couple of his board members, and they concurred with us and with our disputes that, number one, and when you watch the fight with the commentators and the audio, the referee, well, first of all, in a fight like that, we win by the ABC rules of boxing and the unified rules of boxing, which states clearly that a 12-round fight, there's no 8 count, there's no 3 knockdown in effect, and the fighter cannot be saved by the bell. And second and most important is in the event of a cut, whether it's accidentally or by a punch, within 3 rounds, on the advice of a ringside physician that is deemed that the fighter cannot see because of blood going into his eye, the fight is ruled a draw, a technical draw. After 3 rounds, 4 rounds or more, on the advice of a ringside physician, the fighter cannot continue, the fight goes to the scorecards. Well, everybody saw that I dominated the whole fight, and the scorecards would have obviously been in my favor. With the referee, Holyfield, and his trainer, if you look carefully after the 3rd round, there was never a doctor that came up on a ringside apron. A doctor never looked at this felonious cut and all this bleeding. You could hear the commentator saying, hey, what's going on here? We don't see any blood. Holyfield, the referee, and his trainer is having a convention in his corner. It's 45 seconds after the bell rung, and these guys ain't never got up. Something is wrong. The commentary was also in my favor. Holyfield said, and I quote, "I am not going back out there. This guy's winging wide, looping shots, powerful shots. I'm not taking any chances." And he was talking like a guy that was on oxygen. He could barely breathe. The referee then said to Holyfield, well, listen, it's the end of the 3rd round. If you go back out there, you're going to lose by a TKO. But if you sit here, have a Bahama mama, we'll just call it a no contest draw. And basically our case was, 3 falls. If there was a headbutt, the referee never indicated it to the judge. As far as a cut is concerned, there was never a physician that was called to look at the cut to give his opinion to the referee that the fight should be stopped. And thirdly, this referee, Dave Johnson from West Virginia, he was totally wrong for acting as legal counsel for Holyfield. He advised Holyfield how to get out of the fight, trying to protect him underneath the ABC rules of boxing, which states that within 3 rounds, it goes to a technical draw, and it was no case for a technical draw because the cut was never caused by a clash of heads. The cut was caused by the overhand right. So they agree with our position, and now they're going to find a way to go around it. The fight that Holyfield had signed to fight Brian Nielsen on March 5th, we were told by the president of the WBF, will not be sanctioned by the WBF. So that's in our favor. That's great. They said that he have he have unfinished business with Tank Williams' fight, and if at the least the only championship fight they would sanction for him is a rematch with me in the Bahamas. And second of all, they moving to make me, if they do not strip him and reverse the decision, they will make me the interim champion. What an interim champion is a champion in waiting. Once I'm presented with the interim title, Evander Holyfield have exactly 60 days to fight me, or 60 days to sign a contract with the intent to fight me. If he refuses, then he's totally stripped, and I will fight whoever is on the top 10 list for the title. So I'm guaranteed a shot at the WBF, whether it's with Holyfield, whether it's with Roy Jones Jr., whether it's with James Toney. So since Sunday, everything has been positive. We have offers, 3 different offers now from Roy Jones Jr., who everybody knows was the pound for pound best light heavyweight in the world. He moved up to the heavyweight division. He fought John Ruiz. He won the WBA title. He gave the title up and went back down. So his claim to fame is that he's the only guy left that has hold titles in 4 different weight classes. He moved up to the heavyweight division, took the title, and went back to light heavyweight. Now he's talking about going back to heavyweight division, and he said, quote unquote, if Holyfield doesn't take the fight, he'll gladly come to the Bahamas to redeem the American legend loss. The fight was dubbed Redemption in America, and the parade was rained on by a Bahamian from Freeport. So my words to Roy Jones are simple. You may be pound for pound over there, but you come over here, you just take another beating like Holyfield did, and I definitely won't forget to hit you with a tongue punch.